Hi, this is Bobbobson.
This is Bobbobdad
For Bob's Movie Reviews. And today we'd like to review for you a movie we watched recently in theaters called Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues. We just recently reviewed Anchorman 1. We'll be sure to leave a link in the description for that. But we were kind of lukewarm on that movie. I didn't feel like it was that funny. Like, I've always kind of been confused why people liked it so much. Because, I mean, neither of us thought it was that great. I mean, it's an okay story, but I had a free ticket to Anchorman 2, so we thought we'd just go check it out, see what it's like. It is rated PG-13. It's about 2 hours long, and basically, it doesn't say, I don't think, how many years in the future it takes place, but Ron Burgundy and, what was her name? Veronica Corningstone, I think was her name.
Yeah, something like that.
They are married, and they have a child who is seven or so years old.
So it had to have been, 7 or 8 years later.
At least. And they both work for a network now. They're like co-anchors. And what happens is she gets promoted and he gets fired. Because he's kind of like an idiot. So then they end up splitting up, and he gets offered a deal with a brand new 24-hour news channel. And I think it was supposed to be like CNN or something, because it was like TNN or GNN. Global News Network.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, GNN. And so he's got to assemble his old team. And this movie basically has everybody from the first one, except for some of the other, San Diego news teams, like with Ben Stiller. Jack Black's not in this, and but they replaced them all with probably just as good or better people, and they're kind of all just in this one. They have another fight scene, and this movie's kind of like Ron Burgundy trying to rise to fame and beating out Veronica Corningstone, and their kind of heated story of conflict. And
because they got separated when he got fired, and she took that lead anchor position,
and she's with some psychic or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That part was a little. Some of this movie is a little out there. It's a little outrageous, and it's kind of not believable, obviously. But the main cast is all really good. The thing is, this movie's hilarious. It's so funny, and I don't know why. Yeah,
it's so much better than the first one. Well, I know why, because Steve Carell, they let him go loose. And he, to me, made this movie. Because, it was funny, but without him, it wouldn't have been nearly as funny. Because he was just off the hook. He was, you just looked at his face and you started laughing because you knew some crazy stuff was going to come out of it.
Yeah. He was definitely very funny in this one, but I don't know what else to say. It has a lot of, it's a kind of lot of just like random jokes and one-liners. The only thing that I kind of thought was negative about this movie was I felt like the story was more placed together for the jokes, and it didn't seem like everything necessarily was real fluid. And it just seemed like they would go to this spot, and then it was just there just so they could do the jokes. And it didn't really fit into the movie. And then they would do this, and it was kind of like just for the jokes. But all the jokes were really good. I laughed about 4 seconds into the movie. The very first scene is already funny. And I felt about 3/4 of the way, kind of slowed down a little. There weren't really any jokes. And
yeah, but then it picked up.
That was kind of like the heart of the movie, kind of the
Steve Carell finally met his woman that's just as bad as he is.
She's pretty stupid.
But they get along perfectly because they're matched.
So, neither of them know what each other is talking about ever, but they always just agree.
Yeah.
She was pretty funny too. I can't remember who played her, but she was funny. Good movie. It's definitely worth checking out. For score on this one, unless you have any more to say.
No, some of the scenes are pretty crazy when they were in a motorhome and they had on cruise control and they were all sitting in the back talking and they go, who's driving? Oh, nobody, it's on cruise control.
Okay, but a problem I had with that is they're all sitting back there for like 20 minutes drinking a beer. on the highway, and everything's fine. And then they're like, oh, cruise control, that only regulates speed, not direction. Then it veers off the road instantly.
And crashes and rolls a few times, but they can still drive it. There's no windows left.
There's all this crazy stuff going on. Like, he's got a deep fryer, so one guy's getting burned. There's scorpions, bowling balls. Somehow Steve Carell ends up with an ice cream cone.
Well, wait. You're not saying... As the motorhome is rolling, it's filming them inside in slow motion.
Yeah.
So you're seeing all this stuff in slow motion, you know. And
the scorpions like get Will Ferrell like in the tongue or something.
Well, but I think they had to claw on his lip or something,
yeah.
You know. And
yes. There's a lot of stuff like that, you know. That's what I mean by that. It's out there and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like almost like cartoonish, where the car can just drive forever until they realize nobody's driving it, and then it crashes.
Yeah, but the sad thing, that actually happened quite a long time ago in a motorhome, as a matter of fact. An old guy, he just put on cruise control and went back to make him something to eat, but it instantly wrecked, but that was true to life. But this movie is well worth going to see.
Yeah, it's just kind of stupid funny. I feel like Paul Rudd, or not Paul Rudd, even though he was in it, Judd Apatow, he's kind of gotten away from these, and I haven't enjoyed his last couple movies, and I'm glad to see he's back. Maybe he'll keep making these kind of movies, more the raunchy man humor instead of kind of like the girly bridesmaid humor that no men find funny. But okay, so for score on this, I'm going to give it an 8. It's pretty good, pretty funny, a little short of being great.
Yeah, I think I'll give this an 8.5. It was I really enjoyed it more than the first one. I was kind of doubtful, you know, when he said let's go see Anchorman 2. You know, because he had a free pass. I had to pay my own way, so I was kind of iffy on that. But I said okay, let's go, and I was very pleased. It was funny.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and we will see you next time.
Okay, you want to review Bad Grandpa?
You can. I didn't see it, so I can. You can.